Yes, I say it is the second wrong call. The second one this morning. Do you imagine a man of science to be distracted for essential work by the constant interference of some idiot at the end of the wire? I will not have it. Send this incident for the manager. Oh, you are the manager. Well, why don't you manage? Yes, you certainly managed to distract me from work, the importance of which your mind's incapable of understanding. I want the superintendent. He's away, so I should imagine. I will carry you to the law courts if this occurs again. Crowing cocks have been adjudicated upon. I myself have obtained a judgment. If crowing cocks were jangling bells, the case is clear. A written apology? Very good. I will consider it. Good morning. Infernal, idle, overpaid rascals. I could hear them laughing while I was making my just complaint. There is a conspiracy to annoy me. And now, young Malone, you arrived to complete a disastrous morning. Are you here, may I ask, on your own account, or has your rag commissioned you to obtain an interview? As a friend, you are privileged. As a journalist, you are outside the pale. You have been good enough to allude to me in one of your recent lubrications. It was in the course of your somewhat fatuous remarks concerning the recent Sariad remains discovered in the Sonnenhofen slates. You began a paragraph with the words, Professor G. E. Challenger, who is among our greatest living scientists.
Well, sir,
Why these insidious qualifications and limitations? Perhaps you could mention who these other predominant scientific men may be to whom you impute equality, or possibly superiority to myself.
it was badly worded. I should have certainly said our greatest living scientist.
My dear young friend, do not imagine that I am exacting, but surrounded as I am by pugnacious and unreasonable colleagues, one is forced to take one's own part. Self-assertion is foreign to my nature, but I have to hold my ground against opposition. Come now, sit here. What is the reason of your visit?
May I read you this, sir? It's from McCardle, my editor.
Now, I remember the man, not an unfavourable specimen of his class.
He has at least a very high admiration for you. He has turned to you again and again, and we needed the highest qualities in some investigation. That is the case now.
What does he desire?
I'll read you his note to me. Please call upon our esteemed friend, Professor Challenger, and ask for his cooperation in the following circumstances. There is a Latvian gentleman named Theodore Nemore living in the Whitefriars Mansion, Hampstead, who claims to have invented a machine of most extraordinary character which is capable of disintegrating any object placed within the sphere of influence. Matter dissolves and returns to its molecular or atomic condition. By reversing the process, it can be reassembled. The claim seems to be an extravagant one, and yet there is solid evidence that there is some basis for it, and that the man has stumbled across some remarkable discovery. Need I not enlarge upon the revolutionary character of such an invention, nor of its extreme importance as a potential weapon of war, a force which could disintegrate a battleship or turn a battalion, even if it were for a short amount of time, into a collection of atoms, which would dominate the world, for social and political reasons, not as an instant as to be lost in getting to the bottom of this affair. The man courts publicity and is anxious to sell his invention, so there is no difficulty in approaching him. The enclosed card will open his door. What I desire is that you and Professor Challenger shall call upon him, inspect the invention, and write for the Gazette a considered report upon the value of his discovery. I expect to hear from you tonight. R. McCardle. These are my instructions, Professor. I sincerely hope that you will come with me, for how can I, with my limited capacities, act alone in such a matter?
True, Malone, true, though you are by no means destitute of natural intelligence. I agree with you that you would be somewhat overweighted in such a matter as you lay before me. These unutterable people upon the telephone have already ruined my morning's work, so that a little more can hardly matter. I am engaged in answering that Italian buffoon Mazzotti, whose views upon the larval development of the tropical termites have excited my derision and contempt. But I can leave the complete exposure of that impostor until evening. Meanwhile, I am at your service.